welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to gaming artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland, and as we enter the brand spanking new year that is 2023, I cannot think of a better way to start it than by getting a little silly. Today's guest is SodaSneb, a silly digital artist, VTuber, and self-proclaimed E-freak with fantastic styles on all different fronts, no matter what she puts herself to. This was a conversation that, as we will illustrate in the episode, I have been dying to have with Sneb. Sneb is an artist that I've been admiring for a while, and so to finally get her on this podcast to talk about her art and her journey so far, it was exactly what I was hoping for. Plus, I believe, considering the fact that this is the second straight week I have had an Australian guest on, I believe that at least puts me on the list for potential Australian citizenship. Do not confirm with me with that, but I'll get back to you about that. Either way, I sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode as much as me and Sneb did. And I hope you make sure to support Sneb with all the links down in the description below. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. I see that stuff and I absolutely love it. If you want to go a little bit further with that support, maybe you should consider repping some of the incredible streetwear that you can get at the merch shop at pmap.creator-spring.com. There you can get some incredible designs done by some amazing artists, including the brand spanking new hats that you can get, which I absolutely love. I have been wearing my OG logo version one. Cannot get enough of it. Cannot recommend it enough. And hey, look, if all you just want is a cool place where you can connect with some of the artists that you've seen on the podcast, or just other people that love and admire art, maybe you should consider joining our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. Like I was saying, we've already developed an incredible community so far, and we think you would be a wonderful addition to it today. So check the link in the description below to get that link to be invited and to be welcomed in. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
I need to find a background. I have like a billion weird backgrounds. Should I just be in like a decrepit, terrible... Yeah, hang on. I'm just like in a... oh, hang on. Do I have the camera set right? Video.
Having like the worst place possible. As you can see, our local Sneb here
just like a fucking dirty, fucking dirty dump.
As you see here, our local Sneb is struggling, and you can help with the contribution of $1.
Just $1, please. just 1 penny. 1 penny for me.
I know it's something that I'm definitely going to divulge a lot more into, but I don't know if I've said this enough. I love your model. I love it with a burning passion. It is great.
Well, thank you.
Like, especially like the 3D one.
Sorry,
it's wonderful. Just fuck. Hi.
I'm hogging. Okay. Oh, should we have the jacket?
Oh, yes, please. Absolutely.
The jacket's cool.
The jacket's a nice touch.
We love the jacket.
And it's definitely going to be part of a conversation piece as well. So there you go.
The design. How do you come up with questions? That's crazy.
I literally come up with it like within 24 hours of the podcast before. It's one of those, like, I look at elements, I figure out stuff that's like, it's cool. Like, obviously it's something I want to definitely emphasize on, and stuff that I definitely want to learn a lot more about. So I take like time to think about this stuff, even if it's only a little time, you know?
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm sorry. Can I just say I'm so bad at conversations. It's just going to be like this the whole time.
And you know what?
I hope you can somehow find something to use in this. I don't know if you will, though.
You act like I'm going to be struggling with this or whatnot, all right? I think it's going to be a fun conversation. I'm not exactly looking for, like, I need the most intense, thoughtful questions throughout. No, I'm asking for a fucking conversation. I'm not asking for, like, you know, like 2020, you know, Dateline, you know, intense questioning or whatnot. Like, if it just turns into a fucking shitpost of a conversation, that's fantastic. That's all I ask.
I'm a living shitpost, so I think you'll like
that is all I need.
Okay, I need to reset again. Okay. Sorry, I'm just. Sorry, I'm a freak.
You're an
Anyway,
freak.
new background, super fresh.
There you go.
That's true. I have that, and I use that tag, and it's in my Twitter bio. I think I might have changed it.
It is in your Twitter bio because I use that, and I'm going to be saying that as part of my little intro for you after the icebreaker question. So I got you covered.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Love to see it.
I take a little time, go through like socials and stuff like that, see what information I can get, and that's what helps me form questions or whatnot, and also provide an intro or whatnot. So I take more than 2 seconds to pay attention to who I'm bringing on the podcast, you know?
Yes. Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of your episodes. I loved your episode with Monty Mowell.
Yes.
Very good friend of mine.
That was a very good episode. That was one I loved it.
I love her.
Oh, she's wonderful.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Especially with the new model that she just debuted or whatnot. Oh, this is just...
Yes! Oh, I've been so excited. I love her streams. They're so fun.
They are. They really are. That was why I had to have her. Let's see. Tag was another fun episode or whatnot. At some point, At some point, I gotta bring Rocco on the podcast whenever he's got, or whenever they have.
Absolutely. I can't recommend that enough. Rocco has so many cool things to talk about.
Absolutely. Whenever they get Urchin's Fall like down and set more than anything else, that's when it's gonna happen.
That's so high. I really think that's cool. I wish I wasn't so busy so I could, talk to people more. I've been so busy, especially these past like 3-4 months. I've been unbelievably busy. We will talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do not blame you. Hey, it's not like, the work, especially with what you're planning, what you've got brewing up or whatnot, like life is gonna keep moving along and things are gonna keep getting busy. I don't blame you for keeping up with stuff. Like, you got your stuff. We understand. We're still here for you. All right.
It's so busy. I'm so tired.
I'll say, look,
but it's so exciting.
All right, Sneb, before we really get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a deserted island on your own accord. It's just you alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe. You get to truly enjoy yourself a little bit. I mean, hopefully it's a little bit different than the island you currently are on in Australia, but that's a different subject, different point.
My island is nice.
It is a nice island, but how about a nicer island that's where it's just you getting to enjoy yourself and get like whatever vibe you want to go with. But to help make sure you don't go completely batshit crazy insane on this island, you could bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever vibe you want to try to go with. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
So I'm probably going to sound like an absolute boomer, but so as a kid, I had like this, it was like a Game Boy.
Okay.
But it didn't have anything on it except for Tetris.
Ooh.
I would take one of those.
Okay.
It's a Tetris game. Wait, am I gonna starve? Am I gonna die of starvation? No. Or is it just like a piece of me?
It's like I said, you have accommodations in everything. You were there is whatever.
Then Tetris.
Okay. Is it just like the sentimental like kid? Like, what is it about Tetris that like that's your pick right there? If I may ask.
I don't know. It's just so repetitive that I can just do it. Like, I don't know. I have a simple mind, and I don't watch movies, so.
You know what? Fair, valid. I was gonna say, if it makes you feel any better, you're actually not the first person on this podcast to bring up Tetris as their thing to bring.
Really?
Yes.
That's kind of awesome.
It's a guest I previously had. His name is Christian Carrion. He was the host of one podcast. He hosts another podcast now, to where he brings on like game show contestants, like winners of game shows in the past or whatnot, and see what they've been up to, their experience on that show or whatnot. But like, he was talking about how like, when he was still working like hotels or whatnot, like he'd bring his little Game Boy or his DS or whatnot, and he would play Tetris to help like sharpen his mind more than anything else. So there you go.
That's cool. No, Tetris is good classic, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want any of that funny business Tetris 99. I just want simple Tetris, no funny business.
Okay. Okay, but nevertheless, like the simple, good old classic Tetris. That's your answer. You're locking that in.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right,
Locked
then.
in. Locked in.
If that's the case, actually, wait. I forgot to ask this before. I'm gonna edit this little bit out. What are your preferred pronouns? Is it she, her, or is there a different preferred pronoun or whatnot?
She, her, she,
Okay, she,
they.
they. Okay.
I don't really think about it much.
Okay.
Really,
I just wanted to make
but
sure because I do have she written down, but I wanted to make sure that was the right one before I jumped
oh
into
yeah,
the.
she.
Okay.
That's correct. That's totally fine.
Thank you so much. Anyways, well, if that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You can support the podcast on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/PMAP. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. She is a silly digital artist, VTuber, and self-proclaimed e-freak with fantastic styles on all fronts. Welcome to the podcast, SodaSneb!
Hi, that's me.
There you go.
Look at me. That's me. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I've had a really good day. Busy, but here it's good.
Yeah, busy with Germa. Anyways,
No, well, before that too.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Well, I just want to say I'm excited to have you here finally. I've been wanting to have you on as a guest for a while now, if I could be honest with you. Like,
I feel like we've talked about it. Mm-hmm. We definitely talked about it a lot. We have talked about it a long time ago.
Absolutely. I know like stuff has happened or whatnot, and I was letting you take care of your stuff, but now things have calmed down. If you got yourself settled, you got this incredible design that I'm seeing right before you right now.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to divulge a lot more to that. But before we really divulge into the stuff you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit, if I may. And I want to learn more or less the origin story of Sneb. Or maybe the person behind Sneb, if I may. What got you interested in art in the first place?
Oh, I've just done art forever.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of a weird little thing. As a kid, like I was like in grade 2, maybe. I was like a tiny child. Okay. And there was this thing at my school, and we were making coasters, like for drinks, to be sold at a bank for charity. And I won a little dinosaur toy, and I love dinosaurs. And I won because my coaster, my shitty little kangaroo drawing or something, sold the most coasters. And I was like, oh, I get approval for this. I'm gonna do it forever. I was like a baby. I was a tiny child. But that is a memory that is still there. So I think it was kind of important.
I mean,
in my path.
That's incredible, knowing more or less kind of, the fact that at so young you were already validated with, commissions or whatnot. I guess at that point being commissioned for a coaster.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of. It was a little competition or something. Yeah. But surprisingly, that was when I was very young, and until I was more like 13, I was actually a sporty kid. I was actually I did skiing, I did like athletics, like sprints and long jump, and that kind of thing. So I was actually a sportier kind of kid, especially with the skiing. When I think I was 11, when I was 11, I actually went to the US in California for skiing for I think it was six months or a bit more than 6 months, with my mum and my sister, and I was like being trained by people who train Olympians. Like I was really good at skiing, like proper skier. I could probably, if I wanted to, I could probably go and get certified to be a ski instructor.
That is awesome. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible to know just how diverse of a past you have because like of course you have like the little art stuff here and there, but the fact that if you had honestly dedicated yourself more to it, you probably could have been like an Olympian. Like considering the fact that you were being trained by Olympians, people were liking your skills and
I
whatnot.
was going that I was more freestyle. I did half pipe and ski across and
Okay.
like rails and just free skiing. I did a bit of say slalom. I think that's how you say it. But not nearly as much, and a little bit of moguls. I kind of did everything. I think the most fun I ever had skiing though was speed track, which is when you just go straight down the hill. You just go straight down the hill, and you go so fast, like as fast as a car.
Yeah.
And you're on your feet. It's just the most exhilarating thing ever. And I'm sad I haven't skied in quite a long time, but I really do love skiing. I think it's really a passion of mine.
I imagine it's gotta be like on one hand like some of the most like adrenaline inducing like high intensity thing, but also like I would imagine that's gotta be like one of the most like nerve-wracking things because you're going so fast down this hill. If one sliver of something goes wrong, you're fucked. Point blank.
Oh yeah. if you catch a piece of ice, you go flying. You could break your hip. You could break your back. You know you could be absolutely destroyed. I also actually more on skiing. I actually also did cross country skiing.
Okay.
And I did shooting. It's like you do like a lap and then you do shooting, and for every target you miss shooting, you do another lap.
Oh.
And I actually got every target, and I think I came in first place actually in that one.
Okay,
So
casual flex. I get it.
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm allowed to flex. This is about me.
That is true. I'll give you that one.
So it was fun.
Well, I mean, like hearing just like how much fun you kind of had with it, and knowing kind of like how good you apparently were in it, what led you kind of away from it, if I may ask?
My health, actually, definitely more my health. Because around probably 2014, I started kind of having a lot of health issues, and I just didn't have the energy anymore, and I kind of was slowing down a lot, and slowly I just kind of stopped going skiing during the ski season, and which it happens. It's just it's just what happens sometimes. I just don't have that same energy or muscle strength to ski anymore, really.
Okay.
I'm sure I could do it if I started again, but I started getting very sick. We can talk about that in a bit as well.
I mean,
it's like all my health stuff that I've dealt with.
I can only imagine, like, especially, at that point, because like you were saying, like, this is whenever you were still, like, young or whatnot, having to deal with that kind of stuff, like, super early or whatnot. I can only imagine how much of a toll that must have had on you or whatnot. Is that kind of a point to where you kind of turned a little bit more to art, more or less? Like, at what point did you start to really, like,
yeah, definitely. Oh, I was slowly being at home way more. I was taking days off school. I was getting pretty ill. And I actually got into like My Little Pony.
Okay.
And I started drawing like My Little Ponies. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was like in high school. And that was fun. I did lots of like watercolor ponies.
Ooh.
And then I think it was like 2016. No, I think it was 2017. 2017, yeah. I started getting into like the Steven Universe community.
Ooh.
And I was drawing a lot of like random stuff for that. And I was like, oh, I'm drawing a lot of this stuff. I could do speed paints. And I started doing like speed paints of Steven Universe art. So that's all like old stuff, and it's on my like, I mean, you know about my old channel. I don't really want to like say my old
Yep,
channel.
yep, yep, yep.
I feel like a lot of people who are watching probably know my old channel.
It's one of those, if
But
you
I
know,
had
you
to.
know.
If you know, you know. But I I did speed paints actually for a long time, which was really fun. I really liked that.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I have to know, like, the shows like the My Little Pony and Steven Universe and whatnot. It's not, obviously it's not the first time it's been mentioned on this podcast, but for you personally, what was it about those shows that like creatively got you going?
They're cartoons.
Valid,
I
valid.
don't know. I'm just like, oh, it looks nice. Like I said, I have very simple taste in media. If it's a cartoon, I'll probably like it.
Okay.
Like, I
Yep.
like the pretty colors or whatever, you know.
Again, I didn't ask for a deep intellectual conversation. If it just looks pretty, that's all you have to say. I get it. They're wonderful looking shows.
It is nice. Yeah.
So I have to know, like, I imagine like art became more of like an escape more than anything else. From judging from what you're talking about, more than anything else. When did for you go from this
Yeah,
kind of
I
like,
kind of just had nothing to do.
you know what? Fair
Oh,
enough.
sorry. I just want to say quickly, I am
Yeah.
a serial interrupter, honestly. I'm so sorry. I really am. It's terrible.
I was like, look, this is a podcast. You have time. If you interrupt me, I'm not gonna freak out. All right, I get it. This is as much
I'll
your
freak
episode as
out.
my episode. Okay. So yeah. I'll get back
You
to my
go,
question.
you go.
I'll get back to my question. I was gonna say, like, I imagine not only like art was more or less a comfort and an escape more than anything else with some of the stuff you're probably dealing with at that time. When did it for you go from this like just general love and escapism to a passion and wanting to make it your career?
I would definitely say like around 2016, like I said, I really got into like Steven Universe. I started doing like tiny little commissions and like selling adoptables. And I was like, I could like do this. Like,
Yeah.
but art, interestingly enough, art wasn't really what I wanted to do with my career. It was
Okay.
kind of the little side thing that it was like a hobby and I really liked doing it, and if I could make a little bit of money from it, I was gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
I really actually wanted to get into voice acting. But
okay.
yeah, I didn't anyway because I had really, really bad, really proper bad social anxiety, like mute around people. Like I could not even, I was in like drama class in school,
Mm-hmm.
and I would not participate in any of it.
You know what?
I would
Fair.
sit and just refuse completely.
I mean, you know, everyone has like a different experience and a different mentality, and obviously, like, what you envision for that kind of stuff is different than the actual experience. Though I will say, if you still want to do voice acting, I think it's a lot easier. In my limited experience with voice acting or whatnot, it's a lot easier to do it now because, in fact, that a lot of voice acting or whatnot is like remote or whatnot. So it's like you have like the general idea of what you need to go for, and you don't have to have that social anxiety of 20 people in the same room trying to act out a scene.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, I really don't have those problems anymore. I'm actually, it's kind of funny. I've always been very, very extroverted. So when I do hang out and talk to people, I absolutely beam up and I'm super energized. I love it. I just love interacting with people. And, but I think the reason why I was socially anxious was a lot of because of my health stuff that I was going through. Because
Okay.
I didn't want to like hold people back. Like if we were going out and walking or something somewhere, I'd have to be like, guys, I need to sit down, and that kind of thing. Like that's just so embarrassing. That was so embarrassing to me. I hated being like the sick person. You know, it was not fun.
I mean, I personally don't have stuff like that, so I can only imagine how rough it is, like, especially for, you know, dealing with social situations like that. And, you know, again, going back to kind of a previous point, I can only imagine, like, how limiting some of these issues kind of made it for you, whatnot, how rough it must have been to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like deal with certain things and like cope with certain things a certain way. I imagine art probably helped with that, but I can only imagine how much it helped more than anything else.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was hard to socialize when, like, I was like working a full-time job at 16 because I had to drop out of school because I couldn't even go to school. I was so sick. I didn't have the energy to go to
Oh
school anymore.
wow.
Uh, and so I went and got a full-time job, which is worse than school, actually. It
Yeah.
was pretty stupid of me. But I didn't know what else to do at the time. So I kind of had to do that, and it was fine.
That I mean, it's still a struggle to deal with more than anything else. Like goodness, like I know American schools are probably a little bit different, but I can only imagine, like, was there a way to like communicate to like the people at your school, like, hey, I'm dealing with these issues or whatnot, like helping out with
Yeah,
that kind of stuff?
my school really didn't like me at all. The teachers were very disrespectful, very mean to me a lot. Like the teachers, like, were so. There's this one time I remember, and you know, when you're selecting your elective classes for high school or whatever, it's kind of first come, first serve.
Right.
And the teacher who was in charge of like the selections, quote unquote, they lost my submission. So I got put in classes that obviously I hated. I wanted to go into textiles for costume design, and I wanted to go in art, and they put me in woodwork. And I wagged that entire class. I didn't go to a single class.
You know what?
I was a really naughty kid. I was a very naughty kid. I just want to say, anyone watching, please go to school and put a little effort in, please. It was really bad. I would just completely not go to any of my classes, any of them. But I have really bad like attention issues and stuff. And I just didn't go to, just didn't go to any of my classes. There was no consequences though. I could just, they were like, oh, you go to get detention. It's like, okay, I'll just not go to that then. like what are they gonna do?
It's just like, yeah, well, you have to go to detention. I can't go to detention if I'm not here in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, well, anyway, I'm going home.
You have no power here.
Yeah, literally. I just did not care at all. I just don't care.
So, I mean, I know we kind of hinted at it a little bit, but I have to know, like, obviously, like, you're dealing with all this stuff. School is basically treating you like garbage more than anything else, and it gets to the point to where you have to work a full-time job at 16 years old, which, goodness, like, I worked like not even a full-time job. I worked like part-time jobs and like summer jobs when I was in college or whatnot. Having to work a full-time job at 16, like, goodness. So I have to know, with all that in mind or whatnot, how did art more or less become, like, I'm not gonna say like a saving grace, but a way to kind of help you like move along faster and actually succeed a little better?
I think because it was the one thing I could have to myself.
Okay.
It's like at work, I was busy with other people. At home, I would be clean the house for like people I lived with, and I felt like everything I did was for everyone else, but art was for me.
Okay.
Art was like my thing, and people couldn't take that because like I could always draw. Even if I didn't have my computer, I could draw in my notebook or something. I always had it. It was always there. Like at the end of the day, that was what was the one consistent thing in my life at the time. It was my art, and it was the one thing that I could do and not be exhausted doing, you know, because like at work, I worked like at a bakery. It was like insane. Like it was hard work, and I would open in the morning and then close at night. It was like 12 hours.
Jesus.
Like with like an hour break.
Oh, that
Like,
yeah, that
yeah,
sucks.
it's like fucked up. But yeah, no, and then they fired me.
Oh, lovely.
They didn't actually fire me. They just stopped putting me on the roster. One, because I got food poisoning from their food. And I was about to turn 18 and they didn't want to give me a raise.
Oh,
so
man.
that was rough.
Goodness. God, that blows. That was. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. I just hearing that entire situation.
No, so it's actually kind of funny though. Needless to say, I'm glad I don't live in that town anymore.
Yeah, you know what? That's valid. That's valid. Let's focus more on the positive. Let's go back to the art real quickly.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, the thing is, it's not really negative for me anymore. I've moved on for a long time from all that stuff. It's just funny to me now.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I imagine, especially now with how well things have been, like, you know, how busy you've been keeping up with stuff and how much you've been able to grow and stuff more than anything else. Like, I imagine things are hopefully a lot better than they were obviously at that point in life. So, and I mean,
yeah,
like I said before, like art is obviously a major part of that more than anything else, especially with like some of the like the art styles that you've like adopted more than anything else. I mean, like whenever I look at your art, like there are some times where I can easily recognize this is definitely a Sneb piece, without a shadow of a doubt. And there are some times where you toy with like designs and styles or whatnot to where I'm like, oh, this is cute. Oh wait, Sneb did that. Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like whenever I guess the best way I'm gonna word this is words just escaped me. I had my thought and then I lost it. Head just went empty. What the fuck?
My brain does that literally all the time.
Oh, there you go. Well, hopefully it won't whenever I finally ask this question. And the question I want to ask is like, speaking of your mind, how exactly does your mind click whenever you decide to go from, you know, a potential idea for art or something like that to finished product? Like, how is the process for you making some art?
Ooh, it is so in the moment. It is very in the moment. It's like I will just be sketching, and a lot of the sketches I do, I'm like, oh, well, I'm satisfied. And I just close sigh too, and it's done. That's it. That was my fun hobby time for the day. But sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll keep going. And I just complete the pieces, and it's a weird process. Oftentimes when you see art of mine that kind of looks like not drawn by me, that is usually me purposefully doing like a style exercise or something. Like I love like drawing in styles. A little while back I did like a piece in like the Sonic style. And I've done stuff in like Pokemon style, like the watercolor. And I love being able to like recreate that digitally. It's something about that. I'm like, I feel like I'm cheating the system.
Well, I wouldn't call it cheating the system. I would call it more or less using the resources that you have, because you could probably attest to this since your main focus is obviously digital art more than anything else. Like, digital art really leaves a lot of opportunities open for you to experiment and try out different stuff and try out things that, you know, would be a lot more difficult with like the physical watercolor or physical like sketching or whatnot.
Yeah. I think something I really like to do in general in life is to push everything to its limits.
There you go.
I don't know if you know about the VTuber setup I have sometimes.
I've
seen a couple of programs. And I think my computer screams at me, and I'm like, it's okay. Hang in there. Hang in there.
Dear God, Sneb, help. I'm struggling. I'm just
help me.
I wasn't meant for this. I need
my
nourishment.
My PC used to blue screen so regularly,
Oh
like
wow.
really regularly, because had like a no RAM and I was still like using these huge programs and playing VR and
Uh,
and doing stuff in like Unity.
I'm sorry, you say RAM, and of course the first thing I say is, how much dedicated RAM do you need for VTuber
Dedicated RAM.
Studios?
No, literally, my computer probably hates me. If it's sentient, it hates me. I'm evil to it.
I mean, at least it's for a good cause at the end of the day, in one way or another, whether it be for your streaming, your VTubing, or whatnot, or just the art that you do. I like thinking back to some of the stuff that you've done, like whether it be just for yourself or for other people, or whatnot. Do you have a personal like favorite piece that you can think of that like you look back and you're like, God damn, how the fuck did I do that?
Oh, well, actually, the most recent artwork I did, the Germa Christmas artwork, I was really proud of that. Super
Yeah.
proud. And there's a few. There's just so many like things. I'm so proud of the art and how far I've come as an artist.
Yeah.
I think it's you oftentimes you'll see artists and they hate their work, they never like anything they make. It's like I don't really get that. I just love making things for people to enjoy. And I feel like even if my art isn't that great, there's like one person is going to enjoy it. And whether that person is someone online or me, that doesn't matter. But someone's enjoying it. And that makes me happy.
You know, that mentality I have is the same mentality I try to carry with this podcast, honestly, more than anything else. Like I made the podcast for me first and foremost, because this is the conversations like this is the stuff that I crave, and I love like talks
Mm.
like this. But even if it's like, you know, a conversation that I didn't think was like the best, like still a good conversation at the end of the day, but if it's like, you know, I felt like I asked like the wrong questions, or I didn't push enough or whatnot, even if I don't think it's the best quality or whatnot, I know someone out there is going to enjoy it one way or another. So like that's why I
Yeah.
still keep going with this. And I still obviously, like, again, like I said, there's not an episode that I hate. I look at every single one. I listen to just about every single episode that I've done, and I love it. I love listening to this thing. I can only imagine with you, especially the time and effort that you put into some of these art pieces, whether it be something that you scribbled up in like 30 minutes or whatnot, or something you spent a lot of time with a dedicated, you know, idea in mind. Like, especially seeing the outcome at the end of the day, that's got to be like almost relieving more than anything else, to see what you've done and how far you've been able to come.
Yeah, I really just like making things, and I think actually that's a lot of why I even got into streaming, because I actually
Yeah.
started in I streamed a bit. I streamed on YouTube way back when I was doing those like speed paint stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and I I like would stream on YouTube every now and then, and uh that kind of thing. And I would have a PNG
Yeah.
uh actually, and that was in I think 2018.
Oh wow.
Uh and then I actually started getting into VR chat.
Ooh.
And that kind of stuff. And that's kind of when, like in 2019, I got into that. Like kind of mid early 2019, I started using a VR chat model to stream like Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, which was like a little like I've actually kind of come full circle. It was like a blonde Fennec Fox character that I
Okay.
used in VR chat. So, and now I'm a blonde bobcat instead. Well, a caracal. It's up in the air.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, either way, like, I'm glad you also like led the conversation to what I was gonna ask next when it comes to like streaming and that kind of stuff. So awesome for also making it full circle for me as well. I have to know what intrigued you about streaming in the first place. Like, was there any streamers out there that like made you interested in the concept in the first place? Like, what made you decide you wanted to be a part of that?
So, I I kind of just got into it for art a
Okay.
lot. I had friends that streamed a little bit. And they were like, I don't talk to them anymore. But I like the memories I made with them, but I think they started to like use me a bit, and I think we just kind of started to not agree anymore, and it didn't like feel right anymore, and we just like don't talk. I think they like blocked me, and it was a whole thing. But that was kind of when I got into streaming, and I don't know, I think this is gonna sound very corny and oh, you're so inspirational, but I love just making things, and I've said this before on my stream. It's if I'm making something that makes just one person a little happier and it makes their day a little better, and that's just a small difference in someone's life, and it kind of takes their mind off of whatever they're like doing, that is everything to me. That's everything. I could have one viewer ever, but if I'm making a small difference to that one person and they're a little happier just because of me, that's everything. That's why I do this. That's why I make anything. It's because I just want to make the world a little more happy, is kind of that.
That's sweet. Like, come on. Can you hear
Host,
me?
how much did you get of that?
I got all of it. You were saying, you literally finished up talking about, like if it makes one person's day better, like it makes your day better. Like what you said. Literally, you had just finished saying that, and I literally said that's sweet, and then it cut off on me.
Right? Yeah, I didn't hear you say that sweet.
Okay.
But thank God, because I don't want to say that again, because I hate being mushy. I hate it.
Well, to bring it back, and
I'm not saying it again. That's all you get.
You know what? I was gonna find a way to edit that out, but you know what? I might just do the cut when it cuts for me. Viewer pardon the interruption, and then cut back to you saying, "I'm not doing mushy again." Well, allow me to say what I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by Discord, of course. That is genuinely sweet. It is genuinely sweet that you would say that, because honestly, like, again, back to what I was saying about the podcast and whatnot, that's something I very much relate to, and knowing that that's kind of a mentality you have when it comes to streaming in general, like, it's incredible to know that at the end of the day, like, you care about your audience, which is awesome. That's what every streamer should do.
I really care about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really do. I think I've said before, I actually think I'm more parasocial towards them than they are to me, because they actually really help me a lot, because I don't go out much. I'm immune suppressed. So I don't go out. I don't have IRL friends. Like, I don't have that. I don't have that kind of going out and talking to friends and going and partying and that kind of thing. I don't have that. So I think streaming helps me more than it helps other people. Yeah. I think that's an important thing for me to like note when I like go live and stuff. I mean, I don't want to talk about this when I go live and stuff normally, because I want my streams to be positive and not be like, oh, woe is me, my life is so hard. Like, I don't really care for that. Like, I just want it to be a good time where people are entertained.
I mean, I think you certainly do a good job with that, with the streams you've been able to present, and especially like the community you've been able to develop since you've really gone all in when it comes to streaming, especially as of late when it comes to like the VTubing community. I know you kind of illustrated this with kind of the VR chat profile or avatar, but what got you interested in VTubing in the first place?
So it was actually not until like late or mid 2020 that I even knew of other VTubers. I thought I was the only VTuber. I didn't know it was a thing. I actually had no idea that other VTubers. I didn't know it was a community. I knew like other people did it, but I didn't know about Hololive. I didn't know about like VShojo. I didn't know about any of that. I didn't know it existed. I didn't even know any. I thought I was like the only person. I didn't think it was a. I was in a community I didn't know existed. Like, and I kind of one day, one fateful day, Wukiki. You know Wukiki.
Of course I know
Wukiki
Wukiki.
actually came into my chat, and he was the first like person I knew that was a VTuber, and he introduced me to other people who were VTubers, and it was like a whole thing. I had no idea that this community existed. It was insane. I had no idea it even existed at all. It was crazy. That really changed a lot about the people I knew, and I really cherish Wukiki for that.
Yeah.
I'm forever thankful to him.
Let's just take a moment aside. And I just want to say, can we all just agree Wukiki's just like one of the coolest people out there? Just period. Just
100%.
Full stop. Like I don't care what Wukiki says. Wukiki, if you're listening to this, and you better be,
You better be.
You better be. But like you're one of the coolest people that I've certainly known. You're one of the coolest people in the VTuber community, and we are both honored to even know
He's
you.
great.
Yeah.
1,000%. It's an honor to have a friend like Wukiki.
Mm-hmm.
It is really. I mean that.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He's really been there for me, like really big time. He's great.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that, I know that like, you were talking about you didn't know about the VTuber community or whatnot until like Wukiki like really thrusted you into it or whatnot. I know that was certainly the case I know that was the case for me as well whenever I was first like interviewing artists that just so happened to also be VTubers as well. Mainly, Sam, Eldritch Grandpa now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's incredible.
Sam is also cool. Another person I know a bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's incredible the community that people have built around like VTubing and whatnot. So I imagine that for you, once you really knew that there were other people that did that kind of stuff, like being thrusted into this community, like that must have been just like a whirlwind, almost like a surreal experience, realizing that, oh shit, there's a ton of people here.
I mean, it was kind of weird because I had only ever modded and hung out in IRL like streamers chats. So I still don't really know the culture at all. Like debuts and stuff. Like I've done debuts, but I was like, I'm just a streamer that uses a VTuber model, right? Like I don't feel like I'm a VTuber. Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain.
I mean, I
definitely feel more like a streamer. Like, it's like a weird disconnect.
You don't feel like a VTuber that is a VTuber. You feel like a streamer that just happens to use a VTuber model.
Yeah. I feel like it's very different. I definitely don't feel like I love the community, and I think I have kind of a weird little place in the community, but I don't feel like I feel like I'm on the outskirts of it.
At least in my experience dealing with it, I wouldn't say you're on the outskirts of it more than anything else. Like seeing kind of the community you've more or less built for yourself, and the friends you've made in the VTubing community, people that we're like mutual friends with or whatnot. I wouldn't say you're an outlier more than anything else. Like especially seeing the impact you've had with some of them. Whenever it's making artwork for some of these people, or for even a couple people like making their models as well. Like you certainly have an impact in the community.
Yeah, I definitely love it. I think it's a lot more of it is actually I don't think I can appreciate the like VTuber like rhythm, like debuts and like subathons, and I feel like that's just kind of not my jam.
Okay.
So to speak. I love the people in the community. I cherish so many people. I mean, you know, I have so many amazing friends in this community, like Wikiki, like Rocco, like Moel. I love all these people. I cherish them all so much. They are amazing to me.
Yep.
Uh, but I feel like I'm a streamer that
Yeah.
uses a VTuber model. Yeah. But it's I still love those people very
Yeah.
much.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, having
Mm.
that kind of more or less mentality when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, at the end of the day, you can probably attest to this. You're just kind of going to the beat of your own drum. You're walking your own path. If it just happens,
Yeah, 1,000%.
yeah. If it just happens to be with a VTuber model, that's cool. But you're just trying to do what's fun for you at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love the tech. I love
Yeah.
the models. I love like editing my model. I like adding weird shit and being able to change the textures and do all that kind of thing because it's fun. I love the tech. I love the I mean I think you know this, but I'm a mod for false ID and I feel like I'm definitely more of like the tech person than like a VTuber person because in that Discord, I have no idea what is ever happening. I have no idea what anyone is ever talking about. But I feel like I help in more tech type of ways. I feel like that. You know I mod Twitch chat sometimes because I have a lot of Twitch chat moderation experience. Because like I said, I used to like mod for like IRL streamers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a lot of what I did for a long time, especially like on Twitch.
Yep, that's valid more than anything else. I mean, like, yeah, especially knowing the tech aspects, especially the tech that you've done with your own model when it comes to the model that obviously I'm currently talking to, and that is the SodaSneb model more than anything else. For one of those again, if you know, you know, but like people will know that you've gone through a few iterations of how you want to represent yourself more than anything else. What made you ultimately come to this current SodaSneb model?
I think well this design I actually went through a lot of iterations. I was actually thinking about being a gargoyle for a little bit because I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And GG is like a IRL nickname I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, GG, Gargoyle, that's like a cool name. And I looked it up and that person exists already.
Well, damn.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that, I guess. And so I was thinking, oh, I could go back to like my old pink demon design. And I was like, I don't really feel like this represents me anymore. And then I kind of was experimenting with like more scrungly creaturey type things because like I love being really silly and a little crazy more than anything. If you've seen my streams, you know I'm a little silly. And I think being a silly little creature really worked. And I was like, oh, I love cats. But I don't really want to be a cat girl. I feel like that's done so much. Even though I love all my cat girlfriends and cat boyfriends. Mm-hmm. But I was like, oh, I could do something like a big cat. And I was like, but I'm like not cool. I'm going to be a bobcat because they're like the big cat that's small. And I love that little bobtail.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really cool thing. So I started like designing and doing like a bunch of iterations. I can send some in our little Discord if you want.
Okay.
I can send you the first like kind of sketch of kind of
your current
Sneb
model
as a thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Let me have a look. I think I can find it.
And if it's okay with you, I would love to include that visual as part of the video.
Oh yeah, you can absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Because that just sounds fun. Also, I just have to say, I'm sorry to say this. This might ruin the entire aesthetic or more than anything else. But how does it feel to be in the upper echelon when it comes to famous internet bobcats with Bubsy the Bobcat?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know Bubsy? Okay, you know what? Stay ignorant, my sweet innocent child.
Okay, I will. I won't ask. I won't ask questions.
I'll put it simply like this: it was a bunch of games that came out in like the 90s or whatnot that were just atrociously bad. And like the meme is just how
Oh.
bad the games are more than anything else. Especially like what was it? I think it was like
think
Bubsy
that's it.
3D because I believe that one wasn't even like fully completed. Like it was still in like fucking alpha stages when they shipped that shit out.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna send in our little thing a few of the iterations I went through before I actually reached what I did reach.
Okay.
So at the one point I was like, oh, maybe rainbow. That's kind of cool. Like a RGB gamer.
Oh wow.
And then
Yeah.
eventually I settled on the flame pattern you see that is like, oh, I like that. It's like kind of like a leopard pattern, but it's like flames. And it's really
Mm-hmm.
neat. So that was kind of the final one that I went with. And I was like, you can see in the first one, my hair is just gray. My eyes are a bit more yellow green than the tealy type of green that I do have.
Mm-hmm.
And I also added tattoos on my arms and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I eventually settled on like, because I love the color teal and I love the color orange. I really wanted teal and orange somewhere in what I was doing.
It's a good combo if I do say so myself, seeing the final results right now.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun like designing this. I wanted to spend a lot of time designing this because I really wanted to feel like this is me. This is what I'm sticking with for good. This is like what it is, and it's gonna be, you know. And
Good.
I went through tons of iterations, even more than what I have just sent you, even more.
I can
Uh,
only imagine. Like, and
yeah.
especially more than anything else, like the thing that I appreciate about just all the models more than anything else, like obviously your design as a whole is incredible. Like it's a good, simple design that is aesthetically pleasing a million different ways possible. I just gotta give you credit for being quite the fashionista more than anything else. Like with every single outfit that you drew for yourself, like you fucking rock it. Like is fashion something that's like prominent in your life and you wanted that represented in your model?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, in school, I actually wanted to do textiles. I
Mm-hmm.
actually, for a little bit, I was like, oh, maybe I can get into fashion design because I always have liked designing like outfits and stuff. Like, and I would incorporate that a lot into like the Steven Universe adoptables I would do, which was a lot of like the outfit designing and that kind of thing to
Okay.
like make them really special. So that was like a huge like thing. I love designing like characters and outfits, and it's really fun. It's a lot of work, but it is
Yeah.
definitely good fun.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
especially whenever you providing again fun designs that you're showing out more than anything else. I gotta be honest with you. If you ever get to a point like, if you ever get to a point to where you want to make those outfits a reality, I'm snatching at least something. I need at least one of those outfits because you like I fucking love the designs you've designed for yourself.
Yeah, I'm not sure though because I feel like a lot of the designs I make would not physically work in real life.
I'm sorry, have you seen some of those fashion shows and the stuff that quote unquote should not work, but yet the models that wear it find a way to still run down the
I
walkway?
suppose. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. I actually do. Unironically, I love those shows because I think a lot of people don't understand is about like fashion shows and stuff. Is that it's not they're not showing off these clothes like, oh, I'm not gonna wear that. That's crazy. It's like no, it's like an artwork. It's
Yeah.
like going to an art gallery. It's not like those crazy outfits aren't made for wearing casually. Of course they're not.
Yeah. No, of course they're
It's
not.
art, and
A-
I love art.
Absolutely. And trust me, like I'm with you when it comes to like seeing the designs or whatnot, like seeing what some people are able to rock down the runway more than anything else. Like it's incredible some of the designs and like how some of it look like it shouldn't work, but yet the people that it's worn on more than anything else like really make it work. But you also gotta agree, sometimes there are just some of those things that are just like over the top and ridiculous more than anything else. Like maybe that's the
I
point of
love
it.
it though.
Oh no, that's what I say.
It's awesome.
Maybe that's the point of some of those pieces. But like
Oh,
even then, like
100%.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. I love all this. I love weird things. I love things that are like why does this exist? It's like I like it when I don't know why something is. I love it. I love just making things for the sake of it. I think that's really cool that is something that people can do and
Yeah.
make.
Is that like, again? Is that something that you would love to maybe potentially dip your toes into at some point? Again, seeing the designs you're able to conceptualize for just yourself, is that something that you'd like to like dip your toes into at some point and like get into IRL fashion design?
So I think for a lot of people, streaming and content creation, that's like not, it's like not the end goal. Like everyone has their their real dreams that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't care what I'm doing. But if I really love this industry of like streaming and like making productions. I love it. I love it. I thrive on it. I love if I'm not streaming myself, I want to help other streamers make their streams happen.
Yeah.
If I am streaming, that's fantastic too. If I'm just helping with art for streamers, that's awesome too. I don't care what I'm doing, and I have plenty of skills. I can do anything in this kind of like field, I guess. Like I can video edit, I can do all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I am in this industry, I'm gonna be happy forever. I love the community and I love the work that is this. I thrive on it. It's like genuinely, I think, like I could even say it's more like this. Like this industry is like more of a passion of mine than even my art. I love this industry. I love productions and especially, again, talking about Germa again, like the shows that this guy does, it's just pushing the whole like platforms and everything forward. Like it's just an incredible work and I just strive to even come close to doing stuff like that because it's amazing. I love it. It is incredible. I'd love to work on these kinds of things. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with Germa, like you were talking about, like the production of things and like what people are able to accomplish more than anything else. Like Jerma has been able to push that like several times over when it comes to some of the stuff he's been able to have a hand in one way or another. You and I were just watching obviously like the year end awards or whatever.
The Christmas stream,
the Christmas stream, and like some of the like especially what was it like the best stream ideas they had or whatnot. The fact that he was able the thing that was voted obviously like the best event or whatnot. The fact that he was able to pull together a bunch of random streamers to have a shit post of a baseball game more than anything else.
It was amazing. It's so amazing. I like working on those kinds of projects. That's my dream. That is my dream. And I love just creating things. It's amazing. I love it a lot. And actually recently, we could eventually talk about it, but I've been working on some things for Germa. I don't know if you've seen.
Well, I was going to mention one thing that I remember not too long ago, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you the one that did the logo for his sus guy thing?
I was. That was me.
Yeah.
I did do that logo, and that was actually very cool. I actually kind of did it as kind of a fan art in the stream like the day before or something.
Oh wow!
Like. And I just did it, and I was like, yeah, look at this. It's a funny shit post. Because in that community, we all love to joke around a bit and be a little silly.
Right.
So I made this logo. I'm like, oh, this is like a silly little thing. Because I was like, they've probably already like got a logo, and I don't know what they're doing. I didn't know at the time like what the Sasuke stream was going to even be. And then Holly, absolute Angel, by the way, I love Holly. I reached out like, can we use this? And I was like, yeah, of course. And I actually didn't know they were going to have it on the stream. I thought they were like going to use it in the panels. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, you can use it. And they put it on the stream, and I was like, oh. But yeah, it was awesome. I was on it. I'm glad they thought it was cool. I love doing silly, funny things, and I thought it was a funny stream. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
It was a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Like it looked like obviously it looked like a fun stream more than anything else, but I have to know, like, the fact that you got to the point to where you got a logo on one of the streams more than anything else, like it goes back to what I wanted to ask initially when it comes to Germa. How did you become familiar with Germa? What made you want to immerse yourself in that community as well?
So, earlier in the year, I actually, because this year I've changed whatever I'm doing and that kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And I was watching a stream here and there, and I was like, oh, I like this a bit. I enjoy it, and I stopped by stream a little bit on my old account, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is really good stuff. It's really funny, and I started watching like Jerma on YouTube and all sorts of like clips. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's hilarious. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at any stream I've ever seen, actually. And so, and then I started slowing down on watching a little bit, kind of I think it was like around probably April. April is like kind of when a lot of stuff happened, and I like rebranded, and so I was like, oh, I'm still gonna watch Germa. I think I'm gonna re-follow and redo that, and I noticed actually, I popped in to the stream to re-follow the stream, and there were people in the offline chat just like talking, and I was like, what is this? what are these people doing in this offline chat? And I was just like, hi, what are you guys doing? And they were like, hi, and they were like really nice, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet. And I was like, oh, I joined the Discord, and I fit in. I really just fit in. When you found the place where you're supposed to be. And I think it also, going back to like what we were talking about before, I had always watched and modded for like IRL streamers, and I knew way more about like the culture of IRL streamers and VTubers, and I felt like so at home again, and it was like so nice to like have that again, like fitting in like this again, and it was great, and everyone was so nice and welcoming to me, and it was crazy, and there's so many amazing people in the community, and I just feel so at home, and it's just awesome. I just really think that's so cool. It's really cool.
I mean, in my limited experience of seeing like Germa stuff or whatnot, like I could tell that the community that he's built up or whatnot, it's just a fun community more than anything else. Especially compared to some of the, YouTuber, Twitch personalities, like some of their communities out there. So let's be honest, some of them could be toxic as all get out. But Germa's community just seems like a nice, fun, wholesome people that are just looking for a good time more than anything else. And you were talking about.
Sorry, I'm just like agreeing with you.
No, that's perfectly fine. No, I was gonna say, like, you were talking about like Jerma, like seeing the clips or whatnot. Like, I will be honest, the stream that we just finished watching or whatnot, that was my first time watching part of a stream. But I've always seen like
my god!
But I've always seen like clips of Jerma here and there. When I always see like the Jerma out of context clips or whatnot, my favorite clip, the one I still fucking laugh at, and everyone fucking laughs at to this day, is Jerma watching that old clip of Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny does like the wall of ice. Daffy hits it. He pauses it. He goes, dude, he's fucking dead.
Dude, he's fucking dead. That's so funny. You could probably tell me any Germa clip and I would know about it. I would laugh every time. This guy, I don't know, it just hits right on my funny bone. It's so funny. It's the world's funniest thing to me. I don't think I've ever been more entertained by someone, which, I love everyone I watch. I watch a lot of people.
Yeah.
But like it's so good. It's just, I don't know. I don't think I could ever laugh so hard
Yeah.
I feel like I've kind of always been like a very quiet, like I don't like laugh out loud a lot with people, but I just laugh so hard at these streams. They're so good. It's just fantastic. It's such a fun time.
Oh, absolutely. I was also gonna say, oddly enough, you're not the first person to bring up Germa on this podcast, believe it or not.
Oh,
Another VTuber, in fact, 2 a.m. Soda, they said that Germa is the reason why they
oh,
got them into streaming in the first place. Just seeing kind of how.
yeah. I know Soda
Yeah.
a little bit. We've not like spoken, but I like know of them. I want to get music from them so
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
Their music is so good.
Their music is incredible. But like, yeah, again, like knowing kind of the impact that Germa's kind of had, like just kind of being there more than anything else, and like obviously like seeing the community that he has built, the fact that you've got to immerse yourself as part of that community more than anything else, like I can completely understand why that's just a nice, good, fun part of your life that helps the streaming experience as a whole for you enjoy it more than you already have. I mean, thinking back just of your entire journey since you've gone all in when it comes to just the digital age more than anything else, whether it is your art, whether it's streaming, VTubing, or whatnot. Can you think of a particular moment or a particular stream, whether it be yours or someone else's, that if someone was to ask like the best way to like define you or like your favorite moment, I guess, or like, you know, you could present this streamer moment to someone and basically just be like, if you want to know who I am as a person, this is it.
So okay, this is kind of funny. So recently on stream, I was like, oh, guys, I'm gonna add like a redeem to the stream. And I was gonna add a car crash redeem. And so I was like, oh, I need to pull it up. And I was like downloading it and all sorts of stuff. And I like put it into OBS. I'm like not thinking. I'm like, uh-oh. Oh no. And then it just plays and it's so loud. It like made my ears ring. And all of my chat, I love my chat. I love they're so funny. They're like, oh, way too dank, way too dank. It was I know because it filled up the whole screen. It was just like this shitty car crash green screen video, and it was just so loud. I think someone in chat said like that woke me up.
Is it the shitty green screen one that's like the two digital cars and like one of them's like a cop car van or something like that?
Yeah,
and like, I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Oh, it was really, really funny. Oh my goodness, my chat's really funny. They are so funny. They're unbelievable.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
I can imagine, and like going back to obviously, you know, kind of the community you've developed, whether it be for your own or the community you developed through other people's community, VTuber, Germa, stuff like that. Does it amaze you more or less, like the community you've been able to develop in one aspect for another?
I could never even wrap my head around it. Like, I could never, I could never wrap my head around that I have my own community. I always feel like my community is like just other people from other communities, like coming into the stream and hanging out. Like, I don't feel like I have my own community, but I think a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah.
But recently it's like kind of crazy because I have like regulars and I like recognize them when they come in and they're like, oh, I love your streams. And I'm like, oh. And like recently, especially, there was like recently the Twitch recap stuff. And a lot of people had my yippee emote as their top emote. And that was insane to me. Like, that was crazy. Their top emote of all the streamers they watch. That's an incredible honor. I couldn't believe it.
Absolutely. And that was, you know, that's also something I forgot to mention as well. Like the fact that on top of all the art you've done or whatnot, and the way you've been able to help people, you've done a lot of emotes for people, I've noticed.
That's true. That is true. I have done a few emotes. I've done, let's go over a list. I've done some emotes for False ID. And one of my emotes that I actually did for False ID is their sticker for their Advanced GG starter kit.
Oh, that's awesome.
That sticker that you get if you get the False ID starter kit, I did that art.
Nice.
The heart, the little ID heart. It's so cute. I like it. And I've done some emotes for Wukiki and Rocco, and I've done a lot of emotes for Moel. And I did some emotes. What else? I did. I can't think of any. I did all my emotes.
Yeah.
I've made so many emotes for myself because I made all my old emotes from my old character, and I also made all my current emotes, and they're all very silly, and I'm glad people like them. They're a little weird.
I mean, they're fun more than anything else. You know, thinking of even a wider picture than what I talked about when it comes to the community. Again, like thinking back to like, you know, investing yourself in art in the first place when you were just a little kid, to using art as more of a way to escape kind of the shit situation you are, to where you are right now, to where you have art and streaming and VTubing and stuff is kind of supporting you. Does it amaze you more or less the art journey you've been able to be on at this point?
It's just been a absolute roller coaster with it. Like I feel like I've done so many different things with art. And I think especially recently, I have been so honored with the appreciation of what people think of my art, especially with all the art I do in the Germa community.
Yep.
Especially. So this is the special thing. So a little while back, I was having a fucking terrible night.
Okay.
Worst night ever. I had a horrible toothache. I had to go in and get a tooth removed. And that night, I went home. I had an ice pack on my head. I was so tired. I was exhausted. I opened Twitter. I see a message on Twitter from Holly of saying, "Oh, I love your art. I've seen a lot of your art recently. I really want you to be able to work on Grotto Beasts, which is Germa's card game coming up. While this is being recorded, that is not released yet. Right. My cards haven't been released yet as of right now, so it's very special. I'm trusting you. Post.
Trust me.
No, I did get permission.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
I did get permission. It's okay.
I'm just saying this for people, like, this is saying what I'm saying right now is gonna stay in the episode. This is being recorded in December. It's being released in January, right? If there's anything that leaks between now and then, that is not on me. Okay.
Well, no. My cards are getting released on the Twitter. Hopefully on my birthday. We're hoping on my birthday, and my birthday is 2 days from now as of this recording. Yep. Which is very exciting.
Yes.
But anyway, so Holly messaged me, and I'm like, I have an ice pack on my fucking face, and I'm like, ugh. And Holly messaged me, and I'm like, I'm shaking. I'm like, I have to be like going weird from their drugs of giving me at the dentist. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I hold this project in such high regard. Mm-hmm. Like, and it was insane. I couldn't even believe it. And I couldn't believe that Holly reached out to me, and they wanted me so much that I was like added later. There's actually a tweet on, if you scroll a bit back on the Grotto Beast Twitter, you'll see there's like one tweet, I think it's like a quote tweet. They're like, oh, we rounded up to 20 people instead of the 19 people we had. And that was about me.
Oh.
They wanted me so bad that they like added me later to the project. And it was a huge, I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had made it. Yeah. And I'm so appreciative. And Holly's been absolutely wonderful. Holly's been so nice to me, and I've really enjoyed talking to Holly. Holly's been super cool. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'd love to like work on this. It's awesome. And she was like, oh yeah, I know it's like I know it's a very short kind of deadline, but if you could get it done in 2 weeks, that'd be fantastic. and I think it was the next day or the day after I sent like the first artwork, and I was like, sorry, I didn't send any whips. I kind of just was like doing it. and that was kind of funny because it was like, oh my god, like what? You're already done with half of it? And I was like, yeah. I think one thing that's really stands out about my art is I'm kind of quick.
Yeah.
I've been told by most people that I'm very quick at art. So I did the first card, and then the second card, I was like, okay, I think I'm actually gonna send like whips this time, so I can be a better, be more helpful and have something that fits more. But they were super happy with what I have given, and I'm super proud of like the cards I made, and I'm so honored. And if for some reason Holly, you're watching this, thank you. You've been amazing. I really seriously thank you. You're amazing to work with, and I'm really thankful. It means a lot to me. It really does.
And if I just want to say that for you, Sneb, like hearing the fact that you're getting an opportunity to work on something like that, like I'm ecstatic for you. I'm happy for you. I'm proud to know that like you got an opportunity to like work close with someone that again has really become a major part of your life and really help their vision out and to help like get your vision out there as well. Like that's just fucking incredible. More than anything else.
Yeah, it's a massive honor. It really is. And like I said, I love working on productions and these projects. I love this stuff. I love working on projects with people and creating things. And it's just, it felt like, wow, this is what I want to do. I love this. It's awesome. And it was super awesome. It was really cool. It's crazy. It's amazing. I don't think I'll ever really be able to like wrap my head around it. Because as a kid, like, you know, I'd be drawing and I'd be like, oh, because I would draw Pokemon a lot, especially when I was like 6 and 7 and like that kind of age. I would draw Pokemon a lot, like on paper. Right. I was like, oh, I want to make Pokemon cards. And that's like, oh, I've worked on a trading card game as a guest artist. That's so awesome. That's so incredible. Cool. I definitely when talking to Holly about all of this, I was definitely trying not to geek out nearly as much as I should have. I was like playing it cool. I'm like, oh yeah, like talking professional, and but it's a huge honor, and I really am really honored to work on such a cool project that I hold in such high regard. Honestly, it's a very cool thing.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to say, you were saying, people kind of say, I work fast or whatnot. Weren't you also the person that made a model for Faye in like 2 days? Like I
did do that.
I would say, correct me if I'm wrong. VTuber models normally aren't made in 2 days. Okay.
Well, listen, it was, I did take like an 8-hour straight day. I kind of hyper focus on when I work. I just do it and I just don't take a break. Yeah. It's kind of bad actually. But the thing is also that took 2 days because I had already done Faye's reference sheet.
Okay.
Faye Rule, absolute legend, by the way. I absolutely adore Faye. He's absolutely incredible. Probably my best friend. And like, I already made the ref sheet, and I was like, I could like chop this up and make it a model. I was like, Faye's been super cool to me this year and been really supportive.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm just gonna fucking make him a model. I just did it in 2 days. So that was fun. I like chopped up all the art and like made it into a model.
Well, there you go.
And I'm so glad he likes it. I'm really glad.
It's a great model, if I do say so myself. I mean, like just
Thank
I'm
you.
definitely gonna gush more about it towards the end. But like everything that I've seen, like you produce or whatnot, like I could tell, even if it's done in 2 days or whatnot, there's a good level of quality that you put in just about everything that you do, and that's why I truly appreciate when it comes to like your art and the stuff you push forward. Like there's a genuine quality to it, no matter what. So there you go.
Yeah, I think that's very important to me. I think it's also important to me when I'm streaming as well as the quality of the stream, the quality of my art. I want it to be high quality. I want to put all I can into everything I make. I think that's really important to me. I don't want to half-ass anything. I love being at the end of a project and being like, I did my actual best with this thing that I did. So that's important to me, for sure.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, Sneb, we've been talking a lot about the art you've been able to produce and obviously all these assets in one aspect for another and all the incredible stuff you've had a hand in. But I'll ask the ever so generic question. Where do you hope to see yourself, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
I don't know. That's not a good answer. Let me answer again. I
Let me reiterate, I don't fucking know.
Yeah. No, but I definitely want to be able to stream full time, and
Okay.
I think that'd be amazing. I would love to be able to do this as my career. I want to work on these projects for people. I would love to do graphics for big streamers. That's like such a dream. I would love to be involved in like big projects, and I would love that. I think that's really cool. I think that's kind of where I feel like that's where my life is like going.
I mean, that's a good thing to aspire for more than anything else. I mean, especially with what you've been able to do now, like considering the fact that, you know, since you've introduced the SodaSneb character more than anything else, like how much you've been able to grow in such a short amount of time more than anything else, like that's a testament to how far you could potentially go with this thing more than anything else. And especially hearing the ideas that you have, like I don't see why you don't get to a point where you're able to be streaming full time and really indulging yourself in more of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. No, I really love this like industry. Like I said, I love this community and industry. I love where the direction it's going, like with huge productions. I think it's the coolest ever, and it's so cool to even have kind of worked on something that's really special and really cool, like Grotto Base.
yeah,
It's like it's awesome. I love this like industry. I love making things I love making things, and I love making things that are fun, and that's very important to me.
well there you go. And speaking of making things, I'll wind us down to the final question I really have. You know, as we wind down the interview, the last question I want to ask is, you know, you've deeply entrenched yourself when it comes to art and entertainment in one aspect for another. You know, again, thinking back to year 2 when you were selling a kangaroo coaster more than anything else. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
That's so crucial. I think it's important to just have things that you can just enjoy. Just this. I hope you can't hear that.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, yeah, my phone's ringing. Anyway. But I think art. It's so important to just have things in the world that are just there for people to enjoy, like just things that make the life more rich. That's so important. It's like it's everything. Like, because there's kind of this thing I see often. It's like people are like, oh, art doesn't matter. It's just it's for no reason. It's like you enjoy it. That's the reason. Is it makes people happy, and it I think it's so crucial to just have things in the world purely to just make the world a little more livable and enjoyable for people. I think that's super important. Hmm.
Well, there you go. That is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself. Um, that is all the questions I have for you, Sneb. I've already showered you with a whole bunch of praise, but I'm gonna shower you with a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Oh fuck! Am I allowed to swear? Isn't this going on YouTube? Dang it!
Time out. Yes, I'm getting monetized, but I've sweared like what 20 different times in this podcast. I don't give a fuck. Swear. Don't censor yourself. Say the fuck world.
Oops. No. I think I've always just been so bad at taking compliments because I just do this because I enjoy it. I do it for fun. Like even with streaming, I probably tell my chat every stream, don't fucking give me your money. I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing it like for a career yet. I'm not there yet. You don't have to give me anything.
Right,
I'm doing this for fun, and as long as you're happy and entertained and having a nice time in my stream, I'm completely satisfied. I'm a successful for that. That's success to me is just making people happy and having something in the world that people are just enjoying for the sake of enjoying.
And
that's everything.
And that's part of the reason why I can't help but admire what you're doing, Sneb. Like ever since I've been first like immersed in like the art you were making in the first place, that's how I first got introduced to you. Like seeing the art alone was absolutely stunning, and I love every single piece that you've been able to push out there one way or another. Getting a chance to really get to know you, see some of your streams, see the personality really coming on full blast more than anything else. Like I love the vibe you push out there just every single time. And like I crave more of it. Like every single time I see you in a call, like I want to hop in because I know I just enjoy like just chatting with you more than anything else.
Oh,
getting the chance to sit down with you here today and get to know more of the backstory, get to know like more about you and like how much this truly does mean to you. Whatever appreciation I had beforehand, it's elevated to like an infinite level. Like I know that they have a lot of love and passion for what you do, and I can't help but love and support them one way or another. Like I want to see you succeed so you can be able to love it and flaunt it more because you deserve it. Like especially all the shit that you were talking about beforehand that you've had to deal with at this point. If that's what you're doing before and you're having like some of the best time of your life right now, you fucking deserve it more than anything else. The long and the short of what I'm trying to say is, Sneb, thank you for what you do. Thank you for putting yourself out there more than anything else. And I sincerely hope whatever you get to do next is going to be incredible, and I'm going to be right there supporting you no matter what it is.
Oh, thank you. That means everything to me. I love what you do with this podcast. I think it's really cool, and I think you've really interviewed such amazing people, and it's a really cool thing, and I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored that I get to be on the show finally, and we've talked about it for a long time. We've actually known each other a really long time now. And it's just fantastic, and it's been an absolute pleasure, honestly.
Well, I mean, obviously, you said we've been talking about this for a while now. It was only a matter of time before you got on here, and I knew I needed to have you on here in one way or another. So I'm thankful we were able to make it happen more than anything else. And
hell yeah.
And like I said before, just thank you. Keep doing the awesome shit you're doing because it fucking rules.
Oh, thank you. I will. I'm gonna do it forever. I hope.
I hope so too. I hope so too. And if people want to make sure that they help support you in keeping this going forever, as long as possible, more than anything else, go ahead and plug yourself for the people at home.
Hi, I'm Sneb. I'm a little silly. And I stream on Twitch, SodaSneb. Twitter. Well, I don't stream on Twitter, but I'm on Twitter, and I put lots of art on Twitter. If that's more your speed than streaming, I just do a lot of art on Twitter, which is also at SodaSneb. I'm pretty much SodaSneb everywhere. Anywhere that you could probably find anyone, it's SodaSneb.
Well, there you go. And I did forget to ask this sooner, and I'm surprised I as the interviewer forgot to ask this. Where did the name SodaSneb come from?
Uh, it was a random letter generator.
I mean,
So I randomly generated Sneb, and I was like, oh, I like that.
hey,
And then I was like, oh, I want some catchy thing at the start of your kind of an object with a random letter word. And I was like, oh, soda, it sounds good.
I mean, to be fair,
It was really like not that deep. It was super like it was super not deep at all.
Again, what I was gonna say is, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that someone has an iconic name because of a random generator. Like the most iconic example is Donald Glover. When he was coming up with a rap name, he used, I think it was like a Wu-Tang Clan like name generator. That's how he came up with Childish Gambino. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
Also, Vsauce Michael here. That was also a random letter or word, random word. Random business name, something.
I didn't
like
realize that.
Really cool.
That's the thing I did. I
really? Yeah, well, fun fact. Yeah.
Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Oh, I don't know. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so happy to have been here and hung out with you. Whenever we're in VC, like, I don't know, like in Rocco server and stuff, it's always awesome having you around. You're always so positive and you really brighten up a lot of people's days. I hope you really do know that. You really do make a lot of people really happy. I hope you know that. Take it from me. Really, I mean it. I really do mean it.
Honestly, I is as much of you guys brightening up my day as it is me brightening up yours more than anything else. Because I know a lot of time when I'm in that VC, it's usually after like work or something like that, and I'm just at a point to where I just need positivity more than anything else. So knowing that I somehow bring it or whatnot, I appreciate that. Thank you, Sneb. I genuinely do.
Well, it's an honor to be able to give you that back, what you give us, because you really are really a cool person, genuinely.
Man, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bully.
I was gonna say, I thought you weren't one for all the mushy stuff. What's this?
I'm just being nice. I'm not being mushy. I'm just being nice. I'm just being honest. What, do you want me to lie or I fucking hate you?
You know what? You're using my words against me because I tell people that I'm being honest when I'm complimenting them. So thank you. Yeah. Well, nevertheless, thank you for the kind words and thank you for your time, Sneb. And with that, all I have left to say is for the people at home, hasta luego, mi amigas.
Bye.
Parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking into the end. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, what a way to kick off your new year when it comes to podcasts. Now, this was seriously a great chat. Like I said in the episode, I have been wanting to have Sneb on this podcast for a while because I know that the art that they have is phenomenal. No, seriously, their art is great. If you were not able to see it in the video version, seriously take the opportunity to go check them out. Not only the art that they have to present was absolutely incredible, but the heart that they have more than anything else is another thing that I admire. Sneb is one of the most coolest laid back people and is always there to support other friends and VTubers along the way. I cannot get enough of it, and Sneb, if you're making it to this point of the podcast, thank you once again sincerely for doing this. I think I illustrated this during our episode, but the episode that I expected a great episode. I expected the attitude that you brought to it. The energy was exactly what I was hoping for, but it was a whole nother thing different than I was anticipating, and I truly appreciate it. And I hope that for the people that are listening, this was a great step in the right direction when it comes to the year of 2023 for you. I honestly don't know what this year's gonna bring for us. You know, on Twitter I made sure to put I put my New Year's resolution for what I want to see when it comes to the growth of this podcast. But you know, I can say a million different things, but what happens when it comes to the podcast is a totally different thing. I just know that no matter what happens this upcoming year, it's going to be incredible. And with you guys along for the ride, it should be nothing short of amazing. You know, I illustrated this at the end of last year, but, you know, last year, last year was an incredible year when it comes to the podcast itself. And if we made incredible leaps and bounds last year, imagine the leaps and bounds we could potentially make this year. Because I want to go big when it comes to this podcast. I want more cool opportunities and incredible artists for you guys to hear about. Whether it's artists you may already know, artists you have no idea about, or just artists that I don't need to give an introduction to. The long and short of it is, I sincerely hope that this episode was a good illustration for what is to come when it comes to this podcast in 2023. Because I thought it was an incredible episode, and I think it's going to show just how much fun this podcast is going to be and how incredible this podcast is going to be. And I've said it a million times before, I'll say it again. I can't do it without you guys. So I sincerely hope no matter what, you're willing to stick with me through it all. And I sincerely hope you guys are able to make your own incredible art as well, because I am going to be highly excited to see what you guys are going to be pushing out there this year. Make 2023 incredible. Make 2023 your year, no matter what. I'll see you guys out there.